Hell Motel, Season 1, Episode 1 Breakdown and Explain. Hell Motel kicks off its first season with a dark storm, a classic slasher murder, and a surprisingly clever twist that flips the true crime genre on its head. While the premiere leans heavily into horror tropes, it also sets up a compelling mystery and introduces a cast of quirky, suspicious, and possibly doomed characters. Let's break down everything that happened in Episode 1 of Hell Motel, what it means, and why Floyd and Shirley are about to become your new favorite horror villains.
I think you got the wrong.
A classic horror setup, Joey and Caitlin check in. The episode opens in autumn of 1995, and immediately we're thrust into the familiar comfort of horror tradition. A violent storm, an isolated roadside motel, and a young couple looking for shelter. Joey and Caitlin are clearly set up as victims from the get-go. They pull into the Cold River Motel, and despite the creepy atmosphere, they decide to spend the night. At the front desk, they're greeted by a couple running the motel. They're polite enough, but something's off. The camera lingers on a bloody spot on the receptionist's sleeve, and the key to the honeymoon suite, room 7, is presented with an ominous focus. That number definitely isn't just for aesthetics. Before the night is through, the masked killer shows up at their door and brutally murders them. No explanation, no backstory, just blood. Welcome to Cold River. Flash forward, 30 years later, and the true crime obsession. We jump forward 3 decades, and Cold River Motel has taken on a new life. The murders have become infamous in the true crime community. They even have a nickname now: the Cold River Slaughter. A new group of characters arrives at the motel to spend the weekend digging into the crime. They're not random tourists. They're hardcore true crime enthusiasts, washed-up celebrities, and oddballs with twisted fascinations. In short, they're exactly the kind of people you'd expect to show up at a murder site for fun. The motel is now under new ownership, run by a lesbian couple, Portia and Ruby, who seem more annoyed than excited to be running a place crawling with death fanatics. And yes, they're red herrings. Suspicious? Yes. But maybe too suspicious.
Each one of you is a VIP of the true crime scene, whether it be hot.
Meet the victims, sorry guests. Let's run through the new guests quickly, because while most of them are clear archetypes, a few stand out. Paige, a former Scream queen who once played Caitlin in the movie version of the Cold River Killings. She's trying to hold on to her career, but being here clearly messes with her head. Crow, a laid-back spiritualist who's mostly here for the vibes and the seance. Blake, a neurotic true crime writer who takes all of this way too seriously. Kawayan, a murder-obsessed artist who seems to find beauty in blood. Andy, a true crime academic who treats the murders like a thesis topic. Adriana, probably the wildest character, a woman who brags about having sex with convicted serial killers. Together, they form a perfect storm of egos, trauma, and dangerous curiosity.
To the Cold River Slaughter Clique. Nothing but the best for the obsessed.
A bloody dinner and weird vibes. As expected, there's no cell signal at Cold River Motel, which ramps up the isolation. The guests are told there's satellite Wi-Fi, but that's not exactly comforting. At dinner, things take a turn toward the grotesque. The chef, Hemingway, serves a lamb dish that he calls Caitlin. Not exactly subtle. And if that wasn't enough, he passes around vodka mixed with his own blood. It's hard to tell if this is for shock value or some kind of deranged tribute. Either way, it instantly divides the group. Some think it's brilliant and edgy, others think it's just plain disgusting. Meanwhile, a mysterious couple shows up at the motel, Floyd and Shirley. They ask for help and a room for the night, but Portia and Ruby aren't having it. They're told to sleep in their RV out back, which seems harsh but also kind of understandable given how tense everything already is. Paige begins to crack. If there's one character we get more development for this episode, it's Paige. We get some flashbacks to her time on the set of the Cold River movie, and it becomes clear that she's still haunted by the role. Portia and Ruby ask her to dress up as Caitlin for some reenactment shots, and while she agrees, it clearly makes her uncomfortable. Paige ends up speaking to Floyd and Shirley in the RV. She's thinking about bailing on this whole event. Her conscience is bothering her. She's being paid to recreate the death of a real person, a girl she once played in a movie, and that's not sitting well anymore. Paige even asks the couple if she can ride home with them when the weekend is over. It's the first sign that something about this whole setup is just too wrong for her to stomach. chaos begins: death, seance, and sabotage. Later that night, a seance is held in the motel's creepy basement. Everyone gathers around in a circle, except for one important person, Hemingway. The chef is missing, and they can't proceed without him. Turns out, Hemingway has been burned to death in the sauna, trapped and cooked alive. A nasty way to go, and the first modern-day murder in the series. Now, things are no longer just creepy, they're deadly. As soon as the group finds out about Hemingway's death, panic spreads. The Wi-Fi goes out, cutting them off entirely from the outside world. Then the RV, the one that Floyd and Shirley arrived in, is blown up, leaving no way for anyone to escape. They're trapped. No phones, no vehicles. One killer, maybe more. The group starts pointing fingers, and naturally, suspicion lands on Portia and Ruby. But then comes the twist. The big reveal: who are Floyd and Shirley? Throughout the episode, Floyd and Shirley have been painted as the innocent outsiders. Stranded, humble, a little weird, but mostly harmless. Except they're not, they're the original killers. That's right, Floyd and Shirley are the ones who murdered Joey and Caitlin 30 years ago. They're not some random couple in an RV. They're the real thing. The ones behind the Cold River slaughter. And now they're back. That changes everything. The whole time, the show was setting up Portia and Ruby as potential villains, creepy owners, odd requests, strange behavior. But they were never the threat. Floyd and Shirley were hiding in plain sight. Their return raises a ton of questions. Why now? Are they here to kill again? Are they part of a cult? Were Joey and Caitlin a ritualistic sacrifice? And more importantly, how long before the rest of the guests realize the truth? Final thoughts: a promising, bloody start. So, let's be real. Hell Motel doesn't exactly reinvent the horror wheel. The setup is full of classic tropes: the stormy night, the remote motel, the group of disposable guests. But it works because it leans into those tropes with self-awareness. It gives you exactly what you expect, and then yanks the rug out from under you. The twist with Floyd and Shirley is legitimately well done. It's not just shocking, it's smart. By revealing the killers in the first episode, the show avoids dragging out a tired whodunit and instead leaves room to explore the why and how behind the original murders. Character-wise, Paige is the clear standout so far. Her guilt, her inner conflict, and her possible role as the series' emotional core all suggest she'll play a major part going forward. Everyone else? Time will tell. Right now, most of the group feels like cannon fodder, but we'll see who makes it past episode 2. What comes next? Now that the killers have revealed themselves, at least to us, not the characters, the show has a chance to do something different. Instead of building toward a masked killer reveal, it can focus on psychological tension, on unraveling the mystery of the past, and maybe even flipping more expectations on their head. What was the real motive behind Caitlin's death? Was it ritual? Revenge? Random psychopathy? And who else is involved? With the guests trapped and Floyd and Shirley already back in the game, Hell Motel Season 1 is shaping up to be part slasher, part psychological horror, and part true crime meta-commentary. It's messy, stylized, and creepy as hell. Let's just hope the rest of the season lives up to the promise of this chaotic, bloody, and twist-filled premiere. Thanks for watching. If you're into horror breakdowns, creepy series, and Shudder originals, hit that like button and subscribe. We've got more bloody goodness coming your way soon.